shuttle missions. 3 of those were aboard Space Shuttle Columbia, and 1 flight was on Space Shuttle Discovery. I've spent 44 days in space, and during that time, I went around the Earth 692 times. So I've seen a lot of our planet. And what I want to do an astronaut, how I got here, because it's very similar to many of our students that are here today. I first got interested in space when I was 6 years old. And when I was 6, the United States launched our first American astronaut into space. It was Alan Shepard on May 5th, 1961. And at my elementary school in Cleveland, Ohio, they brought us all to our gymnasium. I sat on the floor, crisscross applesauce, and I watched the launch on a small black and white TV. And as soon as our astronaut had made it to space, I remember sitting there saying, I want to do that. So ever since I was 6, I knew I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to ride a rocket. I wanted to experience zero gravity floating around up there. So I always knew what I wanted to do. The problem is, 2 years later, another astronaut selection. Got another application form, filled it out, sent it in, and then the second time I heard back from NASA. I got a little postcard, and it started off by saying, "Dear Sir and/or Madam." It's never a good sign, right? It said, "Thank you very much for applying. We had a lot of good candidates. We did not select you, but good luck in the future." And I looked at that postcard. I applied 3 times, but clearly NASA wasn't interested in me. So I decided I'm going to go to bed, get a good night's sleep, and then in the morning when I wake up, I'm going to put together a new plan for my career that does not involve being an astronaut. So I went to bed that night. The next morning when I woke up, the very first thought that popped in my head was, I still want to be an astronaut. So I asked myself, are there any more of these little things that I can do to improve my chances to make myself a better candidate? And once again, by carefully studying who NASA was selecting and who they weren't selecting, I noticed most of the civilian astronauts they were selecting, they were individuals that were already working at the Johnson Space Center. So at this point, I quit a great job in New Jersey. I drove down to Texas. I got a job with NASA as an engineer working on the Space Shuttle program. 3 years later, another astronaut selection, number 4. I sent my application in. I got called up for the medical testing and the interviews, and that all went well. And then it was about 3 months later, I got another phone call from NASA. And this time it was a very simple call. They just said, Donna, you do your best in school every single day. And whatever your dreams are, whether you're going to be an engineer, a scientist, a medical professional, a doctor, a teacher, whatever you're with you here this afternoon, sharing with you these experiences. So it takes time, it takes hard work, it takes persistence, but you can accomplish anything you want to in your lifetime. And I've met many of the students that were here today, and I'm blown away at your talents. I'm so lucky and so glad I don't have to compete with you to become an astronaut, because I think we have some of the best and the brightest here today, Phil. And I just wish everybody, great success in their STEM field.